they actually purpose-built this play area, which we call our community area, specific to the needs of what was required here. Considering the sort of relatively small space, it utilises a lot of activities for us. For example, we've got the picnic area with the 2 picnic benches, we have the raised beds, we have the cage where they can play basketball and football, as well as the astroturf, so that we don't have the continual wear and tear which we had before in the previous sort of like play area. So it's actually done us the world of good just to have this nice sort of park here, because it's a wonderful invite, and also it's divided into sections like the baby sort of ones, the babies with the baby swings, plus the bit for the tweenies, plus the bit for the older kids, which is here, the teenagers. So it's sort of divided nicely and sort of caged off to protect the smaller ones as well. Yeah, we always like to make sure that we extend outwards as we're developing and growing, and we're learning new things as we go along as well. And you know, the experience is it's not just for the kids in the sense of making sure the provision's there for them for their own personal development and growth. It's a personal growth and development for us as committee members, and learning new things about good practice as well, procedures, and also what works best. You learn from one year to the other about how to sort of like tailor things to fit more precisely for the local group. But it just, you know, that engagement in the community, and also probably neighbours who probably don't really haven't had the opportunity to speak to each other probably before, because they don't really sort of like mesh, or because of work commitments or whatever. It gave them an opportunity to talk and to and build up some sort of relationship, or at least get to know each other a bit more, because you don't really get that opportunity that often, because of, you know, people have their lives to get on with, you know. One of the things, there are several things I'm very proud of that we've managed to watch grow and flourish over the period of time that we've been here. And one of those in particular, it's the engagement of some of the youngsters over the years, and just to see how we've continued that connection over a period of time. One particular example I'd like to draw on is that we have a young boy around the age of, say, about 9-10. He started off. He's about 11 now, I think, or just turning 11. And he's not on the close, but he's local nearby to us. He lives nearby, and he's one of those children that like to come along, get involved in the activities and get engaged. His mom as well will come along and support him and so forth. But this young lad had taken some seeds, and he said, you know, can I try and grow some? Thinking he was just going to grow them in the pots. Well, what he did over the summer, after getting some guidance from Jackie, because we did runner beans and carrots and things like that, and about various other things, and she shows them how to grow them from seeds, which the year before we'd actually got the little sucklings of plants. He started to grow them in his back garden, and throughout the summer, what he would do was to, you know, you'd knock on the doors all up the Cliff Rock, all, you know, on the local area, on the close and so forth. He'd say, excuse me, miss, you know, I've got these runner beans, you can have a handful for £1, would you like some? And he built a wonderful little business enterprise over the summer, and you see this sweet child at your front door with these runner beans, which look really healthy and delicious, which he'd grown himself. Bearing in mind,
I'm sure Mum was there, you know, I'm sure he was safe.
Well, because he's down here all the time, because Mum knows this is to say so. Bearing in mind, Mum and Dad aren't gardeners. This is what he'd learnt from, you know, Jackie, from the Eco Centre, from coming to these sessions. And he had a flourishing business. If you saw how healthy and large these runner beans were, and that's what he was selling throughout the summer, and that was through the initiative of this, you know, Move More, Eat Well with Jackie as well. And that's why I love her leadership, because she's very committed to what she does. And, you know, when people have a real passion, it's very genuine. In her belief in what she's teaching these youngsters, because she knows quite often it will be a lifetime skill, or the knowledge she's teaching them is something that they can use for the future as well. The wonderful thing now that we've been able, the point that we're at the moment now is that because we've had this wonderful experience and relationship with Jackie from the Eco Centre, particularly with the Move More, Eat Well sort of project, we now can grow on that and develop that with regards to other ideas that she's looking into. For example, the vertical gardening, and showing the children as well as the parents about giving them directions about how to utilise space and how to get the most out of the vegetables and the fruits and that they are growing. And to me, that's very important, because we're not stagnant as to where we are in sort of like these sessions. We're continually developing, continually growing, and she continually comes up with bright ideas as to, the things that we should be more looking forward. I'm really pleased that we're at the stage now where our children are not at the sort of initial sort of like baby stage anymore. They're becoming a lot more expert on what they're doing. They're also becoming a lot more knowledgeable about the reasons why it's important to be able to eat healthy, the reasons why it's important to be able, and also just from a health point of view, just from a therapeutic point of view, we're talking about people's mental health as well as the exercise that you get. It's just very therapeutic being out in the garden, not being afraid to put your hands in the soil, and also the rewards at the end of it, because it's amazing how excited they get as the weeks go by when they see their carrots develop, their lettuce develop, and so forth. Legacy is very important, but
Even
these are very
positive
skills which we've given them, and that's you can't complain about that.
There'll probably be some point in the future when they've got a home and maybe a little garden or a balcony, and they'll suddenly remember what Jackie taught them.